So I've had a few people now ask me how I made the touch menu for my RetroArch video, uh, which gave you a lot of emulation hotkeys on the left touchpad here. And I figured I will do the same now for the Dolphin emulator here, and this time detail the process that I go through in order to make these touch menus. Keep in mind this does take a while and it's pretty involved. Also, for some reason, it wasn't initially working for me, and I don't know exactly what I did to fix it as I was going through the Dolphin settings. But I'm just going to be using the default key bindings for save states and pausing the emulation. So, yeah, let's get started. First thing I want to do, of course, is open the Steam menu here. And you're going to want to go to the right twice here to the controller settings and go to Edit Layout. We're going to go down to trackpads and left trackpad behavior. It always defaults to directional pad if you use the default gamepad configuration. But we're going to make this a touch menu. So change it from directional pad to touch menu. And I'm going to use a 9-button touch menu, which is the same I used on my RetroArch controller layout. So we're going to change this. Use this gear icon here next to where it says touch menu, and under general here, change it to 9 buttons. Keep in mind there's a lot of settings you can adjust here in terms of the size and how the menus behave, but for now, let's just change this setting to 9 buttons. And let's start putting in some hotkeys in here. So first one is going to be save state 1. I'm going to use 3 save states and 3 load states for this. You can do up to 8 from based off the default key bindings on Dolphin, but I'm gonna do 3. So first button needs to be Shift plus F1 to save. So I'm gonna do Shift here, and I noticed you can usually do a subcommand. Add a subcommand so you can do 2 buttons on one menu, keybind, whatever you want to call it. So you could do this, Shift plus F1, but I noticed Dolphin doesn't like them being pressed at the same time, Shift and F1. So it would only take the F1 key and make it a load state instead of save state. So I'm going to remove that command. And instead of a subcommand, I'm going to add an extra command. And so now you see here, touch menu button 1 is listed twice. So touch menu button 1 will press the Shift key, and it will also press the F1 key, except the F1 key will be on a slight delay. So on the gear icon next to F1, we're going to go to Settings, and we're going to Fire Start Delay, just move it up to 50, and that should be good. So now we can test that in-game, and if we press, you'll see here, there's the menu, there's a button right here. It's going to look weird for a while because it's just text, but we're going to clean that up later. So if we use the first touch menu button here and just click it, there you go. You see it's saved. And yeah, so now I'm going to do that for the next 2 save slots. So edit layout, go back to trackpad, and touch menu button 2. I'm going to do the same thing. Shift, extra command, F2, touch menu button 3, Shift, extra command, F3. So that's the 3 save slots right there. And you can see the touch menu is freaking out here. But yeah, let's so here's the thing. These touch menus are organized by button 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 7, 8, 9 is where I'm going to put the load states. So that's just going to be F1, F2, and F3 right there. So let's go down to 7, 8, 9. Touch menu button 7, F1, 8 is F2, and 9 is F3. So let's test that out now. Let's go in game. Let's save. And load that save. There we go. And now let's do another save over here for save slot 2. And let's load that one up. Oh, didn't work. State not found. Oh, I forgot to put the delay on save slots 2 and 3. And now my game is bugging out. Hold on here just a second. I'm going to edit back to being in game as soon as I can. Alright, now that we're back in game, let's fix those other touch menu buttons. So let's go back to controller settings, edit layout, back to trackpads. Alright, this F2 needs a fire start delay. F3 needs another fire start delay. So now we should be able to save slot 2. There you go. And let's do a slot 3 here. And load that one. Yep, now we can load 1, 2, and 3. There we go. That's exactly what I was trying to do. Now, if you don't want to accidentally activate these with a click, because it's pretty gentle click to activate, what you want to do is add a hold on these buttons. So we'll go back to trackpads, and on each of these buttons, you're going to want to do, instead of a regular press, do a long press. All of these. Just set them to long press. This way you have to be very intentional with your save and load slots here. And now if you click, they won't just automatically load. You're going to have to hold it for a bit. And then you can save and load. There you go. Now in the middle here, the very middle spot, I'm going to add a pause button. That's just going to be for emulation pause in general. Not every game will let you pause like this, right? So that's going to be button 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to be the F10 key. So edit layout, trackpads, down to button 5, and that's just F10, and set it to a long press. So I should be able to pause the emulation and resume. There we go. Now the next step is to clean up this touch menu because it's very messy and it doesn't look great. So we're going to have to go into desktop mode now, actually. And we're going to use the old big picture mode interface. Now, this video guide might be pretty dated soon as they keep updating SteamOS and adding back old features into the new UI. But as of right now, you can't rename touch menu buttons or give them custom icons or anything like that. So for now, I'm going to go to the big picture mode and clean it up there. Then we can go back into gaming mode and see how our changes take effect. All right, now that we're back in desktop mode here, we're going to select the game from our games list here on Steam. We're going to right click it and we're going to go to manage controller layout. And this is going to open the big picture mode interface. So now we're going to go to the touch menu. These squares up here are the two touchpads. And these blank spaces here are the back grips. I'm not using those for anything here for this purpose, but let's just edit the touch menu here. So we're going to go to select that. And you can see menu button 1 is left shift and F1. 2 is that, such and such. And then you can go to additional settings here to see the other buttons. And there they are. So let's start with save 1. We're going to give it a name. And so under binding, we're going to go here and select the binding 4 right here, this text box, where you give it a custom name. So the name is going to be save1. Actually, I'm going to name it save slot 1. And I'm going to give it a custom icon. So now it's named save slot 1. And you see this right here all the way to the right where it says icon. That's where you can give it a custom icon. So this is where you choose. And I'm going to give it either, you know what? I'm going to do a floppy disk icon. That's usually what I like to do for my save slots. I was thinking maybe ABC, but I don't know about that. Let's go to the floppy disk. There's two different floppy disk icons. There's one that's a save and a load. So just have to find it through this messy menu here. There it is. So I'm going to use this one right here. And since I'm going to do 3 different variations, I'm going to color code these. So the first save slot, I'm going to make it blue. Let's give it a like that, a nice light blue. And then I'm going to try like a green and maybe a red for the other two. But let's go with this blue. And we'll keep that color in mind for the others, for the load state 1. And yeah, so I'm gonna rename it actually save state 1. I just type, yeah, I can do that. Save state 1. Done. Now menu button 2, do the same thing. I'm going to give this one a red color. Actually, a green color. Let's do green. Let's get this middle one here. And menu button 3. Okay, save floppy disk icon. And this one is going to be red. Let me just double check that I chose the right icon there. Yep, okay. And let's go to additional settings to look at the other buttons. F10 is the pause button, so let's give it a pause icon, see if there's one available here. There it is. Let's do the pause play button. No, there's no pause play. I'll just do this pause button here. And default color's fine. And let's name it and let's do the save states now, the load states, sorry. Name this one load state 1. And let's find the load floppy disk and make this one that nice light blue. Load state 2. Give it this green color. And make this one red. Now, one more thing to do. There's 2 empty menu buttons here, and if I don't put a binding in them for whatever reason, they glitch out and they have icons in them and the touch menu doesn't look great. I think that's just because the new UI is still in early stages and it doesn't take stuff like that into account. So what I need to do is bind something to menu button 6 and 4, and what I do is just set an empty binding. And so that's an option right here. It's this icon here. That's just an empty binding. So I'll do that there, and then on menu button 4, empty binding. And that should be that, except for this option here that says display binding label on button. Let's make sure that's disabled. That way we won't see left shift, F1, any of that. We'll just see icons and custom names on the touch menu. So that should be everything. So let's go back into gaming mode and see how it turns out. All right, we're back in game mode now, and as you can see, there's my little touch menu right there. It looks very clean. So I can hit that to pause the emulation. I can hit this one to load that first save slot, save state 2, save state 3. I can save right here. It all works just as expected. And I think that's gonna be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope this helps you out. I want to see other people experiment a little bit more with what's capable on the touchpads, especially for emulation. I love using touch menus and radial menus for emulation hotkeys especially. That's one of the things I really use the most on my DualShock 4 through Steam. But yeah, that's going to be it. Thank you.